And so even if it's the case that people who are going beyond the bounds of what's generally accepted within an academic community as sort of normal forms of protest are in some sense assuming the risk of a certain negative consequence for what they're doing, and generally speaking, people who are engaged in civil disobedience understand that they're undertaking an act that's going to lead to some kind of negative consequence imposed on them. In some sense, that's part of the point of civil disobedience, to show your moral seriousness by leaving yourself open to certain negative consequences. When you have this sort of overkill in response to a kind of act that really had as its most significant element the withdrawal of respect, the withdrawal of the regard that the University of California at Irvine was trying to confer upon Michael Oren, when you have a kind of vituperation that comes from the sense of embarrassment on the part of university officials that the speaker that they had brought to roll out the red carpet for was being treated disrespectfully, then I think it's really very troubling that you should have this kind of extraordinary response that really seems directed toward chilling any kind of open discussion that accuses people who are apologists for governments engaged in ruthless practices of the world of being implicated indeed in international crimes. These are live issues in the international community. They're live issues to this very day. The Goldstone report famously has been renounced by the named author of the Goldstone report, Richard Goldstone. What people don't know is the three other members of that committee who were equally responsible for the Goldstone report and who called for criminal investigations and called for international prosecutions in these cases continue to hold the position that they held. One of the members of that commission, someone I had coffee with a week ago in London, is one of the leading international voices in international human rights law. These are serious kinds of claims. There are serious kinds of claims that call for a kind of strong reaction on the part of audiences that are listening to someone blithely talk about how it is that this was all necessary, this was all part and parcel of what it is that we do in statecraft to defend our populations from violence and so forth. There needs to be some kind of strong response. Whether this response specifically went over a line, some of us might deem appropriate to an academic context, is one kind of question. But the kind of vituperative response that has been visited upon college students who are doing something principled to espouse a position regarding the violation of international human rights and humanitarian law, I think is something that we should view with extreme levels of concern. And so I want to add my voice to those who have protested this treatment of the Irvine 11, and I wish the Irvine 11 all the best in their efforts at appeal and in going forward in their career as political activists.